This is a test light, and I think it's one of the most important bits of kit that you should carry with you, particularly if you're touring. It's small, it's easy to fit in your car, and it's just really handy for diagnosing electrical faults. A test light doesn't care whether your car's positive or negative earth, whether you've got an alternator or a dynamo. It's just very simple and really good for diagnosing faults. So let's head over to the fuse board and I'll show you how to make use of this. So if you have an electrical fault, you can use a test light to find out if you've got voltage at certain points in your circuit. A multimeter is obviously a more advanced diagnostic tool and very useful, but it takes up more room and requires more knowledge to use. A test light, it just illuminates where there's voltage, which is really helpful. So with one like this, you just unscrew the end here, place that gently to one side so it doesn't roll away. You take your crocodile clip and you connect that to a good earth point, like this little screw on the carburetor here. And then you take the pointy end, which is sharp, so if you need to pierce a wire, for example, to test for voltage, you can, but I wouldn't really advise doing that. Here we're just going to have a look at the fuse board here, and I'm going to go first to this ignition live fuse. The ignition is switched off currently, so this shouldn't illuminate, and indeed it does not. And now we'll go across to the permanent live fuse, which we know is live, so should cause the light to illuminate. And there we go. And you can test if you've got a blown fuse, for example, by going across to the other side and seeing if that illuminates. So now if I just pull the fuse out, we've got live on one side, and then on the other side where there's no continuity because I've pulled the fuse, there's no live. So you can use a test light like this to test all sorts of things, not just continuity at the fuse board. You could check your choke has power. You could check, for example, the coil has power. I've turned the ignition on now, so I would say that I know that that white wire is the ignition live to the coil. So if we put the test light here, there we go. We know we've got power to our coil. So you can go right round the car. You can go to a light unit if you want to, or the power to your cooling fan, whatever you need to check that the power is getting where it should do, and then you can chase your way back to find your fault. I hope you found that useful. We'll do a follow-up video on how to identify a blown fuse and a few tips on that. So please do like, follow and subscribe to keep up to date, and we'll see you on the next one.